Well, as we continue to count down the days till Nelson Mandela International Day on Monday, we're in conversation now with the head of leadership and development at the Nelson Mandela Foundation, Verne Harris. He joins us now to talk to us about some of the planned activities that the foundation has. Verne, thank you so much for your time this morning. I mean, take us through some of the planned activities, because I'd imagine a large part of that has to do with, the lifting of COVID-19 restrictions. Individuals, communities will finally be able to go out to reach out to those in need in a way that we haven't seen for quite some time.
Yeah, good morning. Absolutely. Our focus really is on the intersection between food security and climate change. And as you rightly point out, we can now, without restriction, get out into communities. So just to give you a sense of what we're doing, our team is down here in the Eastern Cape today. We'll be visiting Mvezo as part of a tree planting project with the local authority there. Then we move down to Gqeberha, and on the 18th itself, on Monday, we'll be doing a number of activations in Zwide, meeting with communities in support of community gardens. And then one other I will mention, something happening up in Johannesburg. It's a partnership with Vitality. There's a walk and run to raise money for this kind of work on a continuing basis.
I mean, South Africans have been extremely hard hit, Verne, not only since the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic, but, we saw the July unrest taking place last year. We saw the floods in KZN and parts of the Eastern Cape happening several months ago. So, a lot of questions are being raised around whether or not, this is a particularly great time to be celebrating, the former late President Nelson Mandela in this manner. Talk to us about that, or what's your response to those individuals who aren't feeling up to being, do-gooders at this particular time?
Thank you. Really good question. I think 2 points to make is that when Madiba himself endorsed the Mandela Day campaign, it was very much about him saying, don't celebrate my life and work with events. Spending large amounts of money, rather get out and do the work that needs to be done. And that remains very much the focus for us. In the last 2 years, again, as you rightly point out, Mandela Day has been geared as a campaign to the immediate needs of the most vulnerable communities with lockdowns. We set up Each One Feed One, for example, which was reactivated after the floods in KwaZulu-Natal, which also played a key role during the wave of public violence in July last year. But meeting immediate needs is not good enough. We have to go beyond that, because you create dependencies in vulnerable communities and it's not sustainable. And so this is why this program that we are introducing this year is all about working with communities, empowering communities to find sustainable solutions.
I mean, very quickly, you mentioned that, of course, this year's Mandela Day is happening under the very important pillars of food security and climate change. We saw the effects of the flooding in KZN. We saw the effects of climate change, rather, with the flooding in KZN. Talk to us about food security and how South Africans can assist those who are currently experiencing food insecurity.
Well, we're looking to support directly communities who are already growing community gardens, and then work with communities who need startup support. We're also encouraging all South Africans to grow their own vegetables, take strain off the food supply system. In the Second World War in the United States, 60% of the vegetables being consumed were grown in home gardens. And this is something that we can certainly begin implementing in South Africa. And this indirectly helps us address the challenges of climate change. The other element is growing trees. We've committed to planting 1 million trees this year, with a focus on fruit trees, because that also supports food supply for vulnerable communities.
Well, Verne, thank you so much for your time, and thank you for joining us on the Weekend Report this morning. That's the head of leadership and development at Nelson Mandela Foundation, Verne Harris.